Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic. And welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Woohoo! Yeah! Fuck me hard. We we all know exactly what the shitstorm, or how much of a shitstorm the last episode was. The last episode was episode 17. Turn, and we just went on a circle of emotion and heartbreak and plot twists, one after the other. But yeah, Wowzer, the last episode. Ugh, no. I was left kind of just in pieces after the last episode. It's fair to say I was left in pieces. I was left wondering how the fuck I was supposed to kind of process or just think about anything or do anything or move forward within the show after what went down the last episode. What did go down? Two simple, very, very, very simply put. If I had to put the last episode into no more than 5 words, I wouldn't even need to hit 5. All I'd have to say is 2 simple words: Hail Hydra. That's literally it. That was the last episode in a nutshell. Hail Hydra. It was a very, very, I think, it was a very a very well executed and pretty much a perfectly executed way to actually kind of go into a more in-depth and kind of larger scale but more focused kind of more concentrated way of executing the whole Hydra thing and how it went down in the MCU. And a commenter did say that it was set it was set during the at the same time as how stuff went down in Cap 2 Winter Soldier, but I think the episode itself came the same week as the film. I can't remember if it came if it came the days before, or if it aired the days before or the day after it. But I think it aired. The episode officially aired the same week as the Winter Soldier itself was actually released in theaters back in 2014. So damn, this is old. Then this is pretty damn old. But yeah, I think they did not hold back. They did not hold back with the last episode. They revealed a bunch of stuff, including Garrett not being the nice beer drinking, fun loving, happy go lucky uncle type of character that we thought he was. I think he wasn't really such a nice guy after all. He turned out to be the clairvoyant as well as a supporter of Hydra. The clairvoyant, he was revealed to be the clairvoyant. I was kind of iffy on that one because I think if in the moment it felt like they were bouncing around from line to line, being like, because at first it was like, oh, Hand might be the clairvoyant, then this person might be the clairvoyant, then Garrett's the clairvoyant. But it has been confirmed that Garrett actually was the clairvoyant in the end. He was the one who ordered the shooting of Skye, and the torturing of what's his name, Coulson at the hands of Raina, and everything. So he was a clairvoyant, and he was also a member of Hydra. No, he is a member of Hydra. He was the clairvoyant. So that stuff went down. But then I think the one that another one that really caught me off guard was Ward. Ward, he is a traitor. He is very much a traitor. He pulled a very he pulled off one hell of a convincing act, and that was one of the things that a lot of people were very kind enough to point out, is that they executed the writing on Ward's reveal perfectly, because the way Ward was introduced into the show was that he was top of his class in terms of spycraft and espionage and all that stuff. So he, in terms of actually being a sleeper agent for Hydra, he pulled off his role perfectly. He kind of did occasional slip ups here and there, and not enough. For me, he had me believing that he was a good guy all along. That was how good he was. He was that typical kind of good guy, kind of Boy Scout kind of character, and he was the muscle for the team, and he was there to get the job done, all that sort of stuff, and follow orders, all that sort of stuff. He had me believing he was a good guy all along. And in the end, Hand gives Ward the opportunity to shoot the real clairvoyant, it being known as Garrett, but then he shoots the 2 security officers sat beside him, and then he kills Hand as well with 1 shot in the stomach and 2 to the head. And then he, just silently gives a silent nod to Garrett, kind of confirming his allegiance with him and presumably with Hydra as well. But Ward, a lot of people did point out that they had actually, the writers had actually been planting the seeds for Ward's betrayal along the way. Every few episodes, he'd do something that when you look back, it's being the top of his class as a shield agent, he would know better than to do that. Like stuff like, letting himself get caught out by Sky's to Rising Tide boyfriend, and like stuff like on the bridge when he picked the vantage point, but it wasn't good enough. So you thought, oh, maybe he would have actually picked the better one instead. But no, the whole time he was secretly working in allegiance with Garrett and Centipede and everything to make sure things flowed well for the other side. So he was kind of purposely messing up on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s end, but not enough to make people to make them think that he was actually a traitor. But then the most interesting one I came across, the one that struck out to be like, wow, okay, that is a deal breaker there, was back in Yes Men, where literally just like seconds after Sif planted the mouth guard thingy onto Lorelei, Ward still ended up pulling the trigger. Now well, I think fair to say, like most people, I thought, okay, maybe there's just like a few seconds delay between when the enchantment, when the mouth guard actually goes on and the enchantment actually wears off. So maybe in those few seconds, Ward was still ever so slightly under the control. But no, it's now been being said that the enchantment wearing off should have been an immediate thing as soon as the mouth guard went on. So that was and May herself didn't even find out until later on when Sif literally walked out with Lorelei saying the curse is broken. So even then, both of the Ward definitely would have felt the enchantment wearing off, but May would have been under the impression that that Sif and Lorelei are still fighting. So then he takes that opportunity to still pull the trigger. So that one, I will give them props for. That was a well done one that I looked back, and that one actually caught me off guard. But for the most part, he had me falling along for the whole thing and believing he was a good guy, and just never. Thing is, like, looking back at those things, I never would have second guessed it, and I think it's because I made that mistake. I made the mistake of not starting this show, like not starting the reactions for this show off with the pilot episode, and it was only because I had seen the pilot episode a few times in my kind of quest to get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. years before that I figured, if I'm going to do reactions now, I've never really progressed anywhere beyond the second or third episode, so I'll just start from the second episode because I know the characters basically well enough. So I thought, if I did a pilot a reaction to the pilot, most details are still kind of fairly solid in my mind, so I'd probably still remember some stuff. It wouldn't really be much of a blind reaction. So yeah, but I think if I had actually started off with my reactions with the pilot episode, it would have been a nice refresher. But nevertheless, I know now. So thank you to all of you guys who enjoyed and supported that reaction so much. It was just such a roller coaster ride of emotions, but even better to be able to share all those scenes and reactions with you guys, and seeing how much you loved it as well, and all of you helping point out all the little kind of build-ups and the little hints and whispers in the leading episodes up to that episode. So yeah, episode 18, Providence. So S.H.I.E.L.D. has fallen. The rise of Hydra and the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. has taken place now. So I think now Coulson did say that he's not going to really consider May a friend anymore, but he is going to consider her an ally, and they need all the allies they can get. So I don't know where they're going to go forward from here, because they can't really go to any S.H.I.E.L.D. safe houses. The hub has presumably fallen. There's not really many powerful people left in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s ranks anymore. Fury, I think we know he's not dead, because anyone who's seen the movies will know he's not dead. But I think from here on out, what the news will be. I think this is actually an interesting way to look at the whole Winter Soldier storyline, because with the Winter Soldier, like we like, if you watch the movies, you get the movie side of it, and then that's it. After Winter Soldier, you still get the stuff, because then after Winter Soldier, you progress to stuff like Age of Ultron, and then it's like the only thing you get from that is, okay, so since S.H.I.E.L.D. has fallen, the Avengers are their own private organization now. It used to be that S.H.I.E.L.D. was funding them, and S.H.I.E.L.D. was giving them intel and missions and stuff like that, but since S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fallen, they've turned into their own kind of private military or whatever. But now with this, I think I like that, we can actually get a good look at, okay, so S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fallen, but what does that mean for the people still left who believe in S.H.I.E.L.D. and the people who still served under S.H.I.E.L.D., the ones who didn't defect to Hydra or anything like that. So I think this episode will be a good kind of look at the aftermath of the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah, I think that's pretty much that's all the main stuff I can remember. Is there anything else? I think we had May revealing that she was the one who actually put together the plans to assemble the team. She kind of assessed what was needed and then gave the results to Fury. She said she needed like a tech person to rewire his brain, a repair person to repair his body, and a field specialist, a combat specialist, to actually help her take him down if need be. So Fitz, Simmons, and Ward. And the one thing she didn't account for was Sky joining because she was a last minute consultant, and that was also one of his crimes. It turns out, Han said that was actually one of Coulson's crimes. Recruiting a member of the known a known member of the enemy side from the Rising Tide. So yeah, but that is definitely pretty much all I have. But yes, episode 18, Providence. No beer this time, no alcohol. Just I mean, I've finished my water, so nothing yet. But now I think, I don't know. I mean, being drunk didn't help me last time. I mean, I wasn't even drunk. It was like one bottle of beer. That's barely anything for me. But a lot of people did, like a few people did actually kind of point that out, like, yeah, being drunk isn't going to help you, this is still going to tear you apart. So, torn apart, I mean, I'm hoping this will be some kind of fun little recovery episode for me, if anything. But yeah, we'll see. Episode 18, Providence. Let's go. What's the gift? Is it a new flower dress? Gift from the clairvoyant. Is it a new flower dress? It's a flower dress, isn't it? It's a new flower dress. Ooh, a lovely red one. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Are we sure they're the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore? Let's be honest. Come on. Oh, I'm sure. Evil villains always have great beards.
Guess you were expecting more of the fortune teller type.
I always was. I'm not gonna lie. I really always was.
Just a very high-level S.H.I.E.L.D. security clearance. And persuasive personality.
Yeah, you did. You son of a bitch.
You're not clairvoyant?
The red is a great color on her, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Welcome to Hydra.
That's why the red's there.
Okay, turn on.
Oh, Jesus.
You need to replace the grounding wires.
You need to shush. Shush, both of you. Honestly, ganging up on me. Think you're so smart.
Incoming transmission.
From who?
Glenn Talbot, U.S. Air Force. I need to speak with whoever's in charge over there.
Colonel Talbot?
Colonel Talbot.
Coulson. I'm happy we could...
Mr. Coulson. It's a real mess.
He's from Heroes. And Supergirl.
By surprise.
Under the circumstances, I think we should all have a say in this. And I witnessed Agent Triplett willing to die in defense of S.H.I.E.L.D. Respectfully, sir.
I think he'd be a good
You should come
addition.
along with us.
I think he'd be a good helping pair of hands.
But Agent Triplett is your responsibility.
Well, I'm sure he can handle himself, but Fitz isn't too happy with that.
We have internet.
Great.
Yay. And boy, have I lowered my expectations.
But all HQ support systems are gone.
Well then.
Agent Han picked up some Navy jets in the vicinity.
Oh, he's keeping the act up. Keeping the act up.
Took that surprisingly well. Did you hear?
You conniving bastard.
Be careful.
Sky deserves better than this. Sky deserves better than him.
The Agent Grant Ward she knows doesn't.
I don't even think Romanoff could pull that one.
Oh, she is capable of so much more than Grant Ward could ever wish to be.
You've had more than a few seconds.
What's this?
We've been testing
Whoa.
Thought one of them might get a facility where Fury operated on him.
He picked up GH325!
I'd like to see this facility.
Your bank accounts are already fully funded.
Oh, of course they are.
There's a hard drive with all of Simmons' research.
Oh,
Coulson's Sky's blood work, all the data on the If there's a key to how this stuff works, you'll find it in there.
Everything she needs.
Do you need anything else?
She just got hers. She just got it.
This is big for me.
They look like coordinates.
Whoa.
Coordinates to where?
I don't know yet. But there's only one person who could have sent these.
Fury?
And this is totally his style.
Fury.
Maybe a rally point of some kind?
Sir.
Could it be where he was being kept after he got shot?
Before?
Never. Fury also gave me this plane. Anyone wants off, shoots her in the bay. Help yourself.
Damn. He's gonna follow through with these coordinates even if no one else will.
Hail Hydra! All right, put your arms down, Kaminsky.
Jesus.
Look like a West Texas cheerleader rally. Let me see that.
He's enthusiastic, that's for sure.
I jumped out of a plane.
To save another.
Deep cover tactics 101. Perform selfless acts of bravery, you know?
Uh-huh,
Save a
you
scientist.
son of a bitch.
I had a parachute.
You don't seem like her type.
I'm everyone's type.
Nuh-uh.
I was trained from day one as a specialist. I go in alone, I get it done. This team thing, not my speed.
Ah, so playing hard to get. You
I get Coulson
smooth son of a
personally thought he
bitch.
could help.
This is what you want to come to me with right now.
That can't be possible. No.
Fury ordered the surgery.
Yes.
It's so far off the books. Hydra was nowhere near that
And the
stuff.
person that was behind that operation,
Somebody else was behind it? Who the hell was that?
I don't know.
Who? Tell me.
Phil, I don't
There was
know.
someone else behind it?
No.
But I'm telling you, he's chasing the white whale.
Okay, have you even read Moby Dick?
Yeah. Have you?
That's not. Now, if you please stop spouting your nonsense and let me. It's times like these you stick with the guy you believe in.
And Fitz believes in Coulson. The fridge. That is one tall ass fridge. A very tall fridge. Oh, and he's going in undercover of having captured the clairvoyant. Of fucking course.
Hydra.
This is a cover as well, right? This is part of the cover. That has to be part of the cover. Wait, what?
Screw it.
Has to be part of the cover. No, dude, don't fall for it. Oh, that has to be part of the cover. Oh, yeah.
Little warning next time. You wouldn't have had automatic weapons.
I couldn't resist.
Slingshots are fake.
I shot a lot of empty rockets into space. Yeah, maybe every once in a while.
The
I put a monkey in
slingshots
one
are
of the pits.
fake.
You really think Fury would give away all these goodies?
Oh, the staff. The Asgardian Berserker staff.
This ought to keep Coulson busy a while.
Oh, shit. Yeah, just releasing all the prisoners.
I'm so sick of the crap we ate on that plane.
Is there gonna be something underground?
Well, hello, gorgeous.
What's buried underneath the fridge?
Because the last thing I want is for things to change.
Fitzsimmons forever. That's how it's gonna roll, and that's how I'm
It's
gonna
too late
roll.
for that.
Well, even in the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., Fitzsimmons will stay strong. I know that much. Or I hope for that much.
The world needs us. Hydra is out there. We cannot let them win. We cannot let them define us. Do you
Oh,
understand that?
Coulson.
We are agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that still carries weight. That has to carry weight after everything we've been through. That carries weight!
Oh, damn it. Hats off to Clark Gregg, man. Hats off to him. Whoa! That's a turret! That was a turret! Okay, there is definitely something in it.
There's one way.
Well, is Coulson gonna walk out? Official identification? Coulson, please don't get your brains blown out.
I'm Phil Coulson, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, that worked.
Welcome, Agent Coulson.
That worked.
Expecting you.
Okay. So he did receive the coordinates for a reason then. That worked. Holy crap, that worked. Damn.
We had 3 teams try to hack it, but she programmed it to erase all data if anyone other than her attempts to access
Ah, yeah, okay.
Of course she did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that means, Romeo.
Oh, crap. Sky, you guys need to figure out the truth behind Ward before things get really dangerous.
If everyone would follow me.
Yeah, I recognize him from other stuff. Namely, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's a part of the fire brigade in that.
Eric Koenig, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Eric
level 6.
Koenig.
Precision remote system was designed to destroy any rapidly moving metallic object.
I like his badge.
That's my badge.
Mm.
It was just... okay, that's gonna be tough to replace, but Fury didn't make it out of D.C. It's been rough. We're all
So the news that he's alive hasn't made it yet.
How long have you been in here?
Since the Chitauri invaded New York.
Wowza.
Oh.
So a few years.
Not so bad.
Couple of years.
Reading a ton of historical fiction and... Yes, my bad. Fury is not dead.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the news has reached.
Hydra
Yeah.
thinks they killed him, but he managed to escape
okay.
DC. And those are Fury's direct orders. Only a select few people can know that he's alive. Maria Hill, Kat, a couple of others, and now you and me.
Where's he now? We're good.
Great. I'm gonna get you set up with the lanyard.
I like
Maybe
him.
Ask Agent
I
May
like
to pull
Koenig.
the plane in. I've got a parking space for and everything.
We all have our weaknesses. The heart wants what it wants.
Does he have some
Can't control
cyborg stuff going on in his
Do
body?
it the easy way
Some
without blowing your
replacements
cover,
like
then by all
Deathlock?
means.
Garrett and Ward, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah, they're gonna make it believable, alright.
Welcome, Agent Ward. We've been expecting.
Is there something in the tone of voice that makes it believable, or what is it?
Then maybe we can get that drink.
No, don't take anything he offers you, Sky.
Deal.
Not a drink, not a talk, not even a sideways glance.
You almost ripped my tongue out of my mouth. But I didn't. I'm regretting that now. And all that for a fake.
The gravitonium!
My gravitonium. Thank you.
Isn't Dr. Hill still inside that? Okay, so that's the end of that episode. Wow, I think in terms of okay, well, in terms of like an aftermath to all the Hydra stuff that went down, I think what they're doing is they're showing a good job of that. You know, Hydra has got a very good kind of claim and a very good grip on the world now that they've come out into the light, out of the shadows into the light and everything. So I think it's less of it's much less of a recovery and more of like an much more distant aftermath. Like, okay, so what happens now? Where do we go from here? What's happening now? Who, like, where is everyone? Where are they going to? All that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think everything, like the stuff that people commented last episode about Ward's history and how he blended into the team and how he, you know, wormed his way into the team very well was pointed out in this one as well. Ward pointed out like deep cover tactics 101 and stuff, like bravery, jumping out of the plane to save another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. He did that with Simmons, and stuff like intimacy, like identifying May as like a prime target or stuff or something. So letting himself get intimate in that sense, and, you know, creating that kind of thing with her. Help, like, you know, Coulson wanting to be able to help people, and, you know, like offer that kind of guidance that he himself received, so he set himself up as something like that for Coulson as well, and also kind of just playing hard to get, being like, you know, oh, Sarah, like, you know, I work and I go in, I get the job done, I don't really do this whole team thing, I'm a lone wolf, so, you know, making Coulson want to help him out and make him a team player all the more. And then of course the SO thing, like with Sky, like actually, you know, offering like his own guidance with her and building up all that stuff. So he basically just actually learned to blend in. I think what's still hitting me so hard is how well he built up that cover, that kind of facade of trust and S.H.I.E.L.D. agentiness and friendliness and stuff with the team and with us as the audience, how he actually built that up. I think, if anything, it just kind of, that goes to show Brett Dalton's acting ability too. Like, you know, right up until the Hydra reveal, he had us believing that, you know, he was like a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent through and through, and he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent to the heart, and, you know, he was with the team, and loyalty was his thing. And it's true. All of that, most of that's true. Loyalty is his thing, but his loyalty just doesn't lie with S.H.I.E.L.D. His loyalty lies with Garrett, and he even said, you know, Garrett, like, you know, took him in when he was pretty young, and, you know, he rescued him from a hell that he was going through, so he owes everything to Garrett. Like, you know, he did see Coulson as like a good man and a great guardian, but, you know, he owes a lot more to Garrett, and he has a lot more faith and stuff in Garrett, so that's where his loyalty really lies. But he built up a good enough facade, actually lying to Coulson and the team, actually making them think he was with them. So, and he's still doing it now, even with Sky. So yeah, like the whole, like, kind of Ward being with Garrett and Hydra and Centipede, all of that from day one, like, you know, even Garrett saying, you know, I sent you in to blend in with the team so that you could actually gather some intel from Coulson, not so that you could get, or, you know, or soft and touchy with, like, with one or two of their agents. So yeah, and then Ward obviously passed off the intel about the cellist as well, which he then passed on to Raina, and then she used against him. So yeah, and I think I initially had that kind of issue. I think that was what took me so long to actually wrap my head around Garrett being clairvoyant, like him even revealing that truth to Raina and to Quinn as well. Like yeah, sure, I am the clairvoyant, but I'm not a clairvoyant. I don't have any special skills or powers. I don't have telepathy or anything like that. I just have high security clearance within S.H.I.E.L.D. and I have a persuasive personality. So he could get information, he could pass on information, stuff like that. So that was what initially that was what bothered me, because because obviously for one thing they were passing the mantle of clairvoyant from person to person. First it was Thomas Nash, then it was maybe Hand, and then it was like Garrett. And I was just kind of having trouble keeping track. Okay, so who's actually the clairvoyant here? But then once it got to Garrett, it then started to stick to Garrett, and it became more obvious. That was where one of the first twists was, and then it came down to him being Hydra. But then him actually being the clairvoyant, I kind of the clairvoyant thing, it just seemed like, it didn't really, like, it didn't feel to me like it would be someone who was also a field operative. Like Garrett, he is like a combat specialist as well. He is someone who gets out in the field, does the dirty work, and then gets back to the main order of business and stuff. But to me, the clairvoyant, it seemed like it could be, it could have been Quinn, because it always seemed to me like he would be someone like, always working in the shadows, never getting his own hands dirty, always giving the information on it, always giving other people guidance, and always giving, always if he ever needed someone killed or anything, he would actually order other people to do it, just like the same way he ordered Quinn to shoot Skye. So because of that, Garrett just never. It could be because, again, up until then, his clairvoyancy cover was never blown until then, so he was still maintaining that facade of S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. But so up until then, we were seeing him in a combat specialist kind of environment and stuff. But he just didn't really seem like sinister enough, or just shadowy, shadowy, if that's the right kind of adjective here. He didn't seem like the right fit for the clairvoyant. But now it's like but now he did reveal it's less about actually having all of that kind of mental trickery and stuff, and more about actually, him having the clearance level required to get personal intel, and also having that persuasive kind of personality. So yeah, but yeah, I think it was actually like a good kind of reflection for me, for me myself, to actually see that kind of reflected on Raina as well, like her being like, you're not the clairvoyant if you haven't got any powers, or even Quinn at the end, and he busted out Quinn as well. I can't even remember where he was sent. I vaguely remember him being sent to a prison, but I think the last time I remember seeing him was when was back in Tahiti, and then when they first captured him. Garrett was ordered to actually capture Quinn in the first place, but for all we know, that was a part of his persuasive personality. He maybe persuaded S.H.I.E.L.D. to actually let him to actually let him take Quinn in, so that then he would give them some kind of fake ass report, and then he would take Quinn into his own hands and continue the whole centipede thing. So yeah, but yeah, Ward, he is one conniving bastard, pretty much. He has been thick and thin with Garrett and Hydra and Centipede from day one. He's just been, even with the audience, he's been kind of worming his way in, and it's like I think it was a good enough. I think it was good enough writing and good enough performance from Brett Dalton himself that you don't really question that stuff or look back and rethink it until the plot twist happens. It's not like as you go along, you wouldn't get to like episode 10 and look back and you might do, you might think it, but you might not think that sets you up to make him be the villain or anything like that. But then it's not until the plot twist happens you look back and see, wait, was this being hinted at? Is this actually completely out the blue, or did they actually kind of throw in a few hints like, oh, well, if you actually look at this stuff, then it actually kind of makes sense. But now with Ward, I think now it's much easier to see that kind of facade that he's putting on, even going I think even like Garrett preparing him for re-entry into the team, and as well as entry into Providence, like beating the crap out of him and breaking a few of his ribs and getting him into Providence. So now he's inside the base. God knows what he's going to try and pull off. I don't know how close we are to the team themselves actually finding out that he's actually not with them and that he's with Garrett, and all of this stuff has actually gone down. But yeah, that was some stuff. So it's good to see that they're not really pulling any more strings right now with the audience, and that they are actually happy to go, yeah, this is how evil these people really are. So feel free to process all of this stuff. But that was that. Colonel Talbot, he was, I think he had a very, very kind of brief, almost cameo-ish kind of scene, saying that he was gonna kind of pop by the hub and see what the deal was. The actor, I remember him. I first saw him on Heroes. I never progressed past a couple of episodes of season 2 on that show, but I remember him from Heroes. He was the flying guy, and he was also Elliot Sharp or something Sharp. Maybe not even sure. And he was some kind of antagonistic douchebag on Supergirl as well, like an antagonist against Lena. But yeah, I think he seems to be in quite a bit like sci-fi kind of stuff. So seeing him as Colonel Talbot in this is a nice kind of new kind of welcome to a new character of his. So looking forward to seeing what he's got. I mean, he's an army general, so he likely hasn't got very many nice things to offer. But yeah, he is a new addition. Raina was busted out and given a lovely, nice new red flowery dress. I think that the red is a great color on her, and the flowers being black is a great dress. I think, you know, as much of a dick as he is, Garrett has a great eye for fashion. So, yeah, Raina was busted out and she was recruited back and she was given the GH325. So Garrett actually, when Coulson actually walked him into the place where he was treated, he actually managed to pick up a bit of I think, what did he say back then? Let me go back and listen. I think he said he didn't mention being walked right in by Coulson, but I don't know if he actually mentioned what happened, because we never saw him actually picking anything up. But I don't know if that was like a cut scene or what happened, but I don't know. Okay, so He said he did actually pick up as many as he could find, but they're not GH325, I don't think. I think the GH325 was like, there was only one of those, and maybe that was the one that they actually used on Sky. So these ones are still GH, but they're differently numbered, and they're working a lot differently. We saw the test for the results on one of those bodies, and it was filled up with blisters and like boils and all sorts of stuff that made me cringe. But yeah, so they have that, and they also have the hard drive that I believe that was the hard drive that Sky. I think that in the last episode, Sky also like loaded she backed up all of the data on the bus to the hard drive and then erased everything that was on the bus. But I think she pulled a smart one. She actually encrypted the hard drive so that no one other than her could actually hack into it. I mean, so I think Raina said that if anyone other than her tries to access it, then it might actually erase all the hard drives. So there's actually like a fail safe on there. Like if anyone else other than her tries to access that hard drive, I think she actually might have handed it over to Ward in the last episode, like right before, before they set off the bombs to wipe out the servers and everything. But yeah, so that's how they got it. But then, yeah, so she actually wired it with a failsafe to actually erase all the data on it if anyone other than her tries to access it. So I think Raina may well have seen that kind of firewall or whatever, and then, you know, just been cautious not to go any further in case it actually did get erased. So now that's why they've sent Ward back into the team to try and get that information to see exactly what the password or whatever kind of decryption technique is needed. But exactly how he's going to acquire that, I'm not sure. Like, what he's going to tell her. Like, you know, oh, got a hard drive, it's kind of with Garrett. Yeah, I've been working with him. Maybe not actually blowing his cover, but I don't know how he's actually going to go about actually acquiring that info. But Raina is back. Raina is back on the team. And Quinn is back. So he's... Not only is Quinn back, when they raided the fridge... Wait. Oh, shit. Oh, sugar pops in lemon sherbet. Okay, that's what was under the fridge. when Ward blew out the floor and when Ward blew out the floor with that plasma cannon thingy from I'm pretty sure that was the plasma cannon thing from 084 from the second episode when we saw in Peru, because they were in Peru at the time. But that's what was under the floor. It was the gravitonium, because Coulson ordered it to be kept underground and off the records. That's why he couldn't find it on the schematics, because the storage location wasn't meant to be on the record. That's why. That's on the gravitonium. Okay, that makes more sense. I was thinking, they got the gravitonium, but then that wouldn't be on the records, so then it would be off the records. That means it would be in an uncharted place within the fridge. So it wouldn't even be within the fridge, it would be under the fridge. Okay, and they were on the ground floor, and then he said, and then Garrett said he looked at all the schematics and nothing was showing up there, so that's how Ward knew. So that's how they got the gravitonium. Okay, that makes more sense. That's smart. Yeah, okay, so they got Quinn back and they got his gravitonium back, but Dr. Hill is inside that. We saw his hand reaching out from that gravitonium, so what are they going to do with the gravitonium? I mean, well, it's tech. They raided the fridge, and they freed a bunch of prisoners. And from the way Garrett talks about them, I feel like their kind of science experiments gone wrong, or they're like people who experimented on themselves and went wrong or something, because he said, one of the guys he arrested gave himself like lion's paws for hands and stuff, so I feel like these guys are like not completely human or maybe have abilities. So he said, Coulson's gonna have a fun day with these. So I feel like the coming episodes we're gonna see here, we're gonna see the team kind of trying to deal with the escapees of the fridge. But the gravitonium, Dr. Hill is still in there, so that's going to be a fun thing for Quinn to uncover. But I mean, they stole a bunch of different toys and stuff from the fridge, so they got all sorts of weapons to take. But I think the gravitonium, like the GH chemicals and stuff, like it's going to be of importance and use to the team now, to Team Centipede now, to Team Garrett. So, Raynor's going to be working with the test subjects and the GHs and the Hydra and the hard drive. I've almost said Hydra drive. And then I think maybe Quinn's going to be set up working on the gravitonium and all that stuff. But then, he didn't really have much of a big welcome back. He remembered Garrett from as the one who almost ripped out his tongue and then had him locked up. And then him also believing that he was the clairvoyant. Like, you're the clairvoyant? No, bullshit. You're not the clairvoyant. The clairvoyant has gifts and powers. You have a very mean way of talking to people, with like a very ouchy way. So, yeah. But Quinn is back, so that's that. But the slingshot is fake. The slingshot is a fake. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. So he said, Fury would. He said Fury would never want to get rid of any of those toys. So literally, all they do is actually chart the slingshot worthy tech still off to the fridge, and then just fire an empty rocket into the sky. And I think I don't know how that works. And so is it like only a few select people, like only like a select few people know about it? Like only people have like appropriate clearance, like the ones known not to. I mean, again, the clearance stuff doesn't even matter anymore because Hydra's everywhere. Like, clearance is, means fuck all now. The Hydra's come out of their shell, and, even high-level security members are still Hydra, so saying high-level clearance and everything doesn't really matter as much. But the slingshot is a fake, just empty rockets being fired up and the toys being kept in the fridge, in high security kind of vaults and whatnot, So yeah, that's that. But what actually struck out to me was that S.H.I.E.L.D. is being blamed for this. S.H.I.E.L.D. is being blamed. I think even May mentioned, S.H.I.E.L.D. is being blamed for, I think it was either May or Sky that mentioned, S.H.I.E.L.D. is being blamed for Hydra's kind of resurrection into the modern day. And I was like, I don't know exactly how that works. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I mean, because I think it reminds me of Cap's line from the actual movie from Winter Soldier, like him telling Fury, like Fury wanting to salvage what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then Cap being like, we're not salvaging anything, we're taking down S.H.I.E.L.D. along with Hydra because nothing is real anymore, nothing is safe. And he's like, one of his lines is, Hydra grew out from right under your nose and no one noticed. I think that is a very, very strong selling point as to why S.H.I.E.L.D. is being blamed. Like, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. was supposedly the strongest and most secure and like highest level of like security intel and protection across the world, and even Hydra managed to grow out from under their ranks and kind of seep in through their roots and actually find their way. And I think part of that kind of blame also lies with the SSR, like where S.H.I.E.L.D. originally started, because Operation Paperclip, that was what brought S.H.I.E.L.D. but that was what brought Hydra back in, because Operation Paperclip, they hired German scientists of strategic value, and well, I think probably German scientists, but among them was Arnim Zola, someone who was literally a right-hand man to the Red Skull. They knew of this. There was no way, like, they knew Arnim Zola worked as a right-hand man for the Red Skull, so, you know, taking in someone who used to work with him, I don't understand the logic behind any of that. That's like, I mean, they literally gave him a ticket to be able to reboot Hydra within S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I mean, strategic value, sure, but still, morals. Like, I doubt that. I mean, you know, I doubt that just because his master's just because his main, like, his boss died, like, he's not going to try and resurrect S.H.I.E.L.D. by himself. Like, he's, you know, he was with Hydra clearly because he stood for their ideals and he believed in their ideals. Like, you know, giving him the resources to work with a new agency would just give him the chance to actually try and find new people to rebuild Hydra and to restart that whole regime. So I feel like part of the blame lies there, I feel. But now S.H.I.E.L.D. is even General Talbot was saying, you know, like a security agency with as much high kind of level clearance and stuff as S.H.I.E.L.D. couldn't even see this coming. So yeah, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is no more. S.H.I.E.L.D. is no more. But what I mean, it's very little now. It's not no more. It's very little. I think people are still around. Fury is still around. Coulson is still around. The team is still around. You know, Maria Hill is still around as well. Cap's still around. So S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, I guess the main good guys of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the more popular people, for lack of a better phrase, are still around. And I think. More than anything, that they are working to kind of, you know, regroup and or kind of just survive in the wake of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the wake of Hydra's return, more than anything. But at the same time, it is like a you know a survival thing pretty much. But yeah, that was something that kind of struck out to me. But now I think in some ways, I think given like that kind of. That kind of origin story for Hydra's return, like Operation Paperclip being a thing, it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense. What else? The fridge. Eric. So they found Providence. Providence was actually one of the last remaining kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. bases that was considered a safe place. But with Ward there, it's not going to remain that way for long. But Eric Koenig, a level 6 agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I remember, I recognize it. I think he's been in a few things, like sci-fi and non-sci-fi, I think. The last thing I remember seeing him in, I can't remember the actor's name, I think Patton Oswalt, that's it, Patton Oswalt, I remember because I follow him on Twitter. Patton Oswalt, yeah, I remember him mainly from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I fucking love that show. He's one of Jake's rivals. He's a member of the Fire Brigade on that, so I remember him mainly from that. But Patton Oswalt, yeah, I think I've seen his face in a bunch of other stuff, but no names besides from B99 really come to mind. So yeah, but good to see him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. I wonder how long he's going to survive. Given that Ward's here, I wonder how long he will survive. But he actually, he is acting under continuous orders from Fury. I think either Fury gave Coulson the coordinates, or he gave Coulson, or Eric gave Fury the coordinates under the direct orders of Fury, because I think Fury, so he revealed that he was alive, he lied to the team, he lied to the rest of the team saying Fury's dead, but then he told Coulson in private that Fury's actually alive, under Fury's orders as well. So Fury, I mean, I'm assuming this is the point where he's kind of being treated by Joe Russo and or Anthony, I don't know which one's which, so one of the Russos and by Maria Hill in that kind of underground bunker place. But yeah, I don't know exactly how far along in his recovery he is. I think maybe well, no, because yeah, by the end of I think this should be the point where he's actually he's destroyed his eye patch, and he set that whole van full of his old kind of possessions on fire. So he's wiped out the Fury of wiped out the identity of Nick Fury. And he also kind of set up his gravestone as well, and he said to Cap, like, if anyone asks for me, tell them they can find me right at this gravestone. So he set all of that stuff up. And yeah, I think he is just kind of working underground, and he said like a lot of Hydra agents did not end up going down with the ship, so he's working to take down what's left of Hydra, and also work around what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well, and see what he can actually bring up with that. So yeah, but it's tough times for S.H.I.E.L.D. So that much is definitely clear. But Eric Koenig is definitely one of the few good guys left, and he's been living in Providence for about 2 years, I think. He said since the Battle of New York, he's been in that base. So from there to Winter Soldier, I'd say 2014. That's around 2 years, just over 2 years. So yeah, so he's been living there for 2 years. But he has like that little wallpaper that changes the thing every week or every day of the week or something. And I think he must get enough. He must get like food and drink supplies and like supply drops or something to help him out. And he always games Call of Duty with his brother, so he's not exactly living too much of an isolated life. He's not going crazy. He has enough to keep him occupied. But he is also working with Fury and everything to keep S.H.I.E.L.D. up and running in whatever form in whatever shape or form it is now. So he is still working under the orders of Fury. So he still has a job and everything. And he has a lanyard as well. He's very happy to give out lanyards, especially to Coulson. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have on him. Someone else was involved in Tahiti. I think May mentioned like someone else being there, or like someone else being involved in Tahiti, but then she didn't know who it was, and Fury would probably be hesitant to trust them because of the fact that Hydra's come out of the shadows now. So whoever it was could have easily been Hydra. But I think that is very unlikely now, because if it was Hydra, that news would have easily fallen into Garrett's hands, and he would have no need to actually go through the efforts that he did to acquire the information and the resources behind Tahiti. But then again, it could be that maybe the person was given the wrong information, or maybe they weren't given as much information as they thought. But I think May said that someone else actually would have been behind Tahiti along with Fury. But I don't know, like that could be one of the reasons that Fury isn't trusting anyone else. So yeah, but yeah, so 3 S.H.I.E.L.D. bases were left safe, but 4th, the cube was retaken. The cube was retaken, so that gives us 4 members. I mean, would the fridge count as a S.H.I.E.L.D. base? Or is that just like a storage location? I think the fridge is more of a storage location, so the fridge wouldn't really count. So 4 bases, I think maybe 5 now, because we know of Providence, but I think how long is Providence going to last? So I'd say 4.5 with Providence, because Ward is there now, so we don't know how long Providence is actually going to last. I mean, on the one hand, I doubt that Ward is actually going to try anything, but at the same time, it's Ward, so I'm not really trusting him with much these days. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. That is pretty much all I have from this particular episode. I think it was a great episode and a great continuation of everything that went down from the last episode. And actually, and Trip as well. He's a new. I almost forgot to mention Trip. Trip is now a new addition to the team. I think they kind of took him on board. I think Coulson was hesitant because of the fact that even if Trip wasn't Hydra, and even if Trip was kind of one of the victims of the Hydra thing, he still kind of worked hand in hand and side by side with Garrett. So there was a bit of like reluctance there with actually recruiting him on board. But then Gemma actually kind of vouched for him, and he said, you know what, if you're vouching for him, then he's your responsibility. But me personally, I think Trip is a very likely candidate to be a good guy and to actually be a worthy addition to the team, but Fitz Fitz doesn't really feel that much. I think he prefers it when him and Simmons are able to work together alone, and it's just the two of them. And it's just Fitzsimmons working hand in hand to save the day. He doesn't really. I mean, I don't think it's as childish as that he sees that he sees Trip as any kind of competition. But it's like, you know, I think on the one hand he does still feel close enough to Simmons that he doesn't really kind of want anyone getting in the way of their kind of partnership and their kind of the whole kind of dynamic duo thing they've got going on. So he wanted to stay Fitzsimmons, not Fitzsimmons and Triplett, or any kind of addition really. But I think I think there may be a bit of teeny weeny, there may be a teeny tiny kind of bit of competition building up, like where he actually does kind of see Trip as more someone he's actually jealous of, or more someone he has to actually rival up against, as opposed to just another human being on the team. So hoping they don't go too far down any kind of childish routes with that, but interesting to see how that kind of team dynamic builds up. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. Well, I mean, yeah, I think this episode showed that, you know, with Hydra having come up so powerful and with S.H.I.E.L.D. being left in tatters pretty much, Coulson was very desperate to go dark. He wanted to wipe out all presence of the team off the net and off the radar and in every way. He wanted to, I think, when he asked for Sky to collect up all the remaining IDs, I thought he was going to say like, oh, let's just destroy these, but no, he actually did. He was going to keep them in the safe, and then until he found his own badge, and then found the coordinates. So yeah, I think that was something that kind of struck out to me too, like the fact that he was so willing to actually just erase all presence of the team from S.H.I.E.L.D., and especially because S.H.I.E.L.D. is getting such a bad rap now. Especially because S.H.I.E.L.D. was getting such a bad rap, and they were actually being targeted by the government and everything for having failed to stop the resurrection of Hydra, and also for being kind of like one of the easier routes for Hydra to actually get their way back into the world and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it was a tough call for him to make, but it was one that he actually realized. And I think you know, obviously the rest of the rest of the team struggled with Coulson's kind of blind faith in Fury, in pretty much what to them was a dead man, and for him kind of following coordinates blindly and hoping to find something, and him just kind of going mad with this kind of blind faith that he had in someone who was dead, and just believing that Fury was still alive and still contacting him. So in the end, it turned out to be fortuitous. There was still something there. There was very much something there. He was very right that Coulson, that Fury was leading him in the right direction, but I think you saw the effect it had on him, and I think more than anything, you saw the effect it had on him that the team was seeing. It wasn't so much that they were painting him as a madman in the audience's eyes, but more that they were painting him as a madman in the team's eyes, and that he was kind of like lost with grief, and he couldn't handle the death of Fury, and that he needed something to still follow. He needed someone to be able to follow still, so he was still kind of blindly following in that light. But in the end, it did turn out to be fortuitous. He did find Providence in the end. So yeah, this episode was just kind of a great way of showing like what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how those people, how the people that are left of S.H.I.E.L.D. are actually handling it, and how stuff's actually going in the wake of Hydra's return, and exactly how well Garrett and Ward are handling their side of the Hydra business, and exactly how stuff's going down there. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have from this particular episode. So interesting to see how stuff actually got carried on. So looking forward to seeing what more this season has to offer, and how they're actually going to continue with things now that Ward is back in the hands of the team. Damn it. And interesting to see how Ward's going to actually acquire that information from Sky, and if and when he's actually going to get his cover blown, or if and when he's going to actually reveal his true kind of betrayal and stuff like that. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 18, titled Providence. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next in the season. And yeah, that's it. So, I will see you guys next time.